I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Zwicker?
Here.
Ms. Pryor?
Here.
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
Thank you, Bonnie. First item on the agenda is the public hearing in regards to the Renton Disaster Recovery Plan. Mindy, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Mindy Matson, and I'm the Emergency Management Coordinator for the city, and we're here tonight for a public hearing on the City of Renton's Disaster Recovery Plan. Do I have a PowerPoint?
Yeah, just
Gotta open it up.
click.
Okay, thank
Click
you.
when you're ready.
And you all have this on tablets, is that correct? Okay.
Your monitors.
Okay, a little bit of background on this. We really started talking internally about recovery planning when most of you folks went through the Green River tabletop exercise series that we did for you. After that, the next thing that we did was begin our kickoff of this effort, which was December of 2010. At first, it was the Green River cities that were participating, and that would be Auburn, Kent, Renton, and Tukwila, as well as King County. So the catalyst for us to do this was obviously Green River, but I want to emphasize that this is an all hazards plan. So whatever the disaster, it would be covered under this plan. Also, it's not a required plan. Not very many jurisdictions have recovery plans at this point, so we're pretty proud of the fact that we're ahead of the curve on that one. The next step was that we contacted FEMA for technical assistance. They said they would help us out, and they came out and facilitated a series of functional workshops, and that took place in February and March. I'll tell you about the topics of those workshops in a subsequent slide. We had really terrific participation by city staff. They definitely did you proud on this, and we also invited quite a few stakeholders and private partners that also participated. We did hire a contractor. 3 of the cities agreed to use the same contractor in order to keep costs down and also to make sure that we weren't creating plans that were conflicting with each other. We tested this plan at the Integrated Emergency Management course, which was in September of 2011. I know some of you participated in that. And then we had a public input requirement, and it was posted to our website for over a month with a chance for the public to weigh in. And then here we are at the final hearing today. So this slide is just to give you kind of an idea about what we mean when we say disaster recovery. You can see it starts with a disaster event, and again, it can be any hazard. And then we go into what's called the response phase. And during response, we're primarily concerned about life safety and property issues. And then once we've stabilized all of those, we move into what we call short-term recovery. So during the response phase, we are operating underneath our comprehensive emergency management plan, which is during response, and then when we transition to short-term recovery, that is when this plan would come into effect, and it would carry us through the long-term recovery process. Just to give you an example, short-term recovery things might be, we might still have people in shelters when we transition into short-term recovery, and the longer-term recovery would be finding stable housing for them moving into the future. Ideally, at the end of long-term recovery, we have created a Renton that is more resistant and emerges stronger than it was prior to the event. These are some of the things that we know are components of disaster recovery, if you will. It's a lot of moving parts to pull off something like this, and a lot of people have to be involved. To let you know the basic concept of operations, the EOC will continue to do coordination role as we transition from response to recovery, but at some point after that, when it's appropriate, we will transfer that coordination responsibility to a recovery management team. And initially this would be mayor's staff, which we also call advisory group. It may have a staggered handoff. There may be certain elements that are ready to transition while other ones still need that higher level of EOC coordination. Direction and control, the mayor coordinates the overall recovery policy direction with the help of the city council, and the city council establishes policy and approves expenditures and contracts. And then the advisory group, again, would be called upon to do that oversight part after it transitions from EOC, and the mayor has the authority to appoint other people to serve on that committee if we identify community leaders or stakeholders that would play an important role in recovery. The basic plan looks like a basic plan, and then it has several annexes that are attached to it. We sort of talked about ConOps and direction and control. There's a lot of crossover in responsibilities because there's so many things that will be going on at that particular time. I want you to understand that this plan does not say how we're going to do everything. It basically points the finger and says who is going to be responsible for doing things. So all of the departments have had input to this. They know what their primary responsibilities are and what the other departments are there to do to support them in their efforts. We identified that information dissemination was a very, very important thing. You folks are used to receiving a situation report when we have the EOC activated. When we transition into this recovery plan, you'll get a weekly status report, a recovery status report. Reports can be more or less often depending on what the need is at the time. Communication to the public is addressed in this basic plan as well. We know that there's absolutely no way we can effectively do recovery without engaging the public on every level possible. Logistics requests will continue to be handled through the EOC, even after we've transitioned to the recovery group. And then emergency management will handle resource requests after we transition from the EOC. Okay, plan maintenance is the last factor on this one, and it's going to be every 4 years. We don't really like it when plans come for review and the whole thing needs to be done at the end of 4 years, so I suspect there'll be some work done on it before then. These are the annexes, and these were also the subjects of the workshops that FEMA conducted for us. So we had subject matter experts from all the different jurisdictions, as well as public and private partners that came to these workshops, and these were the annexes that were developed. Right now, we are working really hard to update our Kemp plan, and the good news is that anything we're doing to update that also can be used to help us update this plan as well. So we anticipate there'll be some tie-in. Right now, there's a lot of planning going on with damage assessment and also with debris management, which you can see are two of the annexes in this plan. And then police has also been working hard on an animal sheltering component that will be added too. So next steps, we're here at the public hearing today. If council sees fit to approve it, we'll get that done today, and then we'll submit it to FEMA for their approval, and then we will promulgate the plan according to how it says we need to do that in the plan. And that is what I have for you.
Thank you, Mindy. Any questions from council? No questions? Okay, this is a public hearing. I don't have anybody signed up on the sheet. Is there anybody that would like to address the council in regards to this FEMA plan?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, second by Mr. Corman, that this public hearing be closed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy. Okay, next is the administrative report. Mr. Covington.
I have no report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
No motion.
Okay, we don't have anybody signed up for audience comment, so we'll move on to consent agenda. We have 8 items on the consent agenda for council consideration. Are there any items that a council member would like pulled for discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person.
I would just like to make a comment about item F, which is the Fire and Emergency Services Department asking approval of a letter of understanding with the Olympic Pipeline. We had a briefing only in public safety today, and basically we're getting a $50,000 trailer that'll help us fight oil fires or hazardous waste incidents for free. So I just want to give that piece of information.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
move that the council concur with the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that council concur with the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Unfinished business, Mr. Zwicker.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Breyer?
Yes, vouchers.
Finance Committee report, approval of claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves for payment on February 27th, 2012, claim vouchers 3097600 through 310086 and 3 wire transfers totaling $3,157,058.16. This is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms.
I
Breyer.
move that council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Zwicker, that council concur with the Finance Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Prince?
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Public Safety Committee has been at work. I just want to advise everybody that we had a very good explanation of the fire emergency response systems that are in the fire vehicles. And we also learned today that there would be more ongoing changes coming up during 2013, so we're going to keep that in committee rather than report it out.
Okay.
And it was for a briefing only today anyway. With that, I have one Public Safety Committee report.
Public Safety Committee report, City of Renton Disaster Recovery Plan. The Public Safety Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to adopt the City of Renton Disaster Recovery Plan, which defines roles and responsibilities for key recovery support functions to be carried out within the city in the recovery phase following a disaster. All city departments participated in developing the plan. The disaster recovery plan will be scheduled for review and update every 4 years. The committee further recommends that the resolution regarding this matter be presented for reading and adoption. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Person?
I move the council concur in the recommendation of the of the Public Safety Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Person, second by Ms. Palmer, that council concur with the Public Safety Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, Ms. Palmer.
I have one report.
Community Services Committee report, Municipal Arts Commission appointments. The Community Services Committee recommends concurrence in Mayor Law's appointments to the Municipal Arts Commission of Mr. John Schindehet for a new term expiring on March 31st, 2014, position formerly held by Pat Pepper, Mr. Paul Hebron for an unexpired term expiring on December 31st, 2013, position formerly held by Brooke Lindquist, and Ms. Natalie Gress for a new term expiring on December 31, 2013, position formerly held by Dahlia M. Amin. This is signed by the 3 committee members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Palmer.
I just want to make a comment that I am so impressed with the caliber of people that we're getting for these commissions and boards. Just amazing. And a lot of enthusiasm. They're already helping, being useful. Very, very exciting. And Miss Natalie Gress is all of 15. She's a youth member who has already been attending meetings just because she's that enthusiastic. So that's fun to see. And with that, I move that council concur with the committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Palmer, second by Mr. Prince, that council concur with the Community Services Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I want to say, Ms. Palmer, that is so true about all of our boards and commissions now. We're really getting a lot of quality applicants. Very impressive. Mr. Corman?
And no unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor?
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Resolutions and ordinances, we have 3 resolutions and 1 ordinance this evening.
The first resolution regards the Benson Hill Communities Annexation Sales Tax Credit. A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing the city to impose a sales and use tax as authorized by RCW as a credit against state sales tax and use tax relating to annexations.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Breyer.
I move that council concur with this resolution.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Breyer, seconded by Mr. Zwicker, that council adopt this resolution as read. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
The next resolution regards the Waste Reduction and Recycling Grant Agreement with King County. A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an interlocal cooperative agreement with King County for a waste reduction and recycling grant.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I move that this resolution be adopted as read.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that this resolution be adopted as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And the third resolution regards the disaster recovery plan. A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, adopting the City of Renton disaster recovery plan.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr.
I
Zwicker.
move this resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Ms. Breyer, that this resolution be adopted as read. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
The one ordinance for second and final reading regards approving the Fairlane Woods annexation. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, annexing certain territory to the city, property consisting of approximately 39 acres, the north and western boundaries of which are coterminous with existing city limits. The eastern boundary is a parcel line at 132nd Avenue Southeast, if extended, and the southern boundary is a parcel line at Southeast 160th Street, if extended. This is the Fairlane Woods annexation.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second?
See, it's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Ms. Breyer, that this ordinance be adopted as read. Requires a roll call.
Mr. Zwicker?
Aye.
Ms. Breyer?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Ms. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Bonnie. Moving on to new business, Mr. Zwicker.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a few items today. First, I just wanted to mention that on Saturday, we were able to roll out our first use of the new Clean Community Initiative in my own North Renton neighborhood, where some volunteers led by Kizzy Funkhauser was able to work at a resident's home cleaning up some yard waste and debris. And there was about 14 participants from the neighborhood. They were able to get in there, and it really came through a nice partnership through some outside agencies and the city as well. When I want to give a special notice to Terry Flatley of the city, who we received a letter regarding some tree plantings, and Terry noticed that this might have, well, I would have probably looked at it and said this is just somebody that was kind of upset with us. Terry saw it as maybe somebody that could use some help, and met with a resident that could use some help. And so we were able to put together a quick group on Saturday, went in and cleaned away a full truck full of yard debris, and then used the Clean Initiative program to help offset some dump fees, where Ray Giametti and myself put our pickup trucks to use and made 6 full loads up to the dump. And we'll be reimbursing for about $260 in dump fees, and I think it really came together well. So the volunteer effort was really good, you know, and then the use of the easy stuff. And then as we kind of looked at that when we created the program, is that it shouldn't come out of somebody's pocket just to help get up there. And we did that. We recycled a lot of stuff and recycled a lot of yard waste and a lot of garbage, so we were able to get a lot into the solid waste stream. It just was a real win-win, a real good time also for that type of project. So I really appreciate everybody's efforts on that, and I just think it was a great kickoff for our first time using the Clean Community Initiative, and hopefully we will use it many times more in the future. Based upon our retreat, I have a few referrals into Committee of the Whole. I'm going to start with referral made Mr. Taylor asked for regarding council communication that will be staff assigned to Jay Covington, and Greg and I will work on it. So with that, I'd like to refer to Committee of the Whole, the topic of council communication.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Taylor, that the topic of council communications be referred to Committee of the Whole. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you. The second item is from Councilmember Palmer. She would like referred in the Committee of the Whole briefing on the Garden Avenue project, and we were hoping that staff assignment on that would be Greg Zimmerman. So with that, I'd like to refer to Committee of the Whole, the Garden Avenue project briefing.
Second?
Been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Ms. Palmer, that the topic of the Garden Avenue project be referred to Committee of the Whole. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And third item is getting an update from the Economic Development Strategic Plan, and we were hoping to be able to work with Alex Peach and Terry Gashiyama on that, and then that would include an update regarding minority and underserved community outreach and small business outreach. So with that, I'd like to refer to Committee of the Whole, the topic of Economic Development Strategic Plan briefing.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Taylor, that the topic of economic development strategic plan be referred to the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And the last one is, it was a referral of mine, that discussion regarding a council-sponsored charity project, volunteer project, or charity, an annual project, and I was hoping to get Terry Gashiyama to work with that. So with that, I would like to refer to Committee of the Whole, an annual council charity project.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Prince, that The topic of annual council volunteer project be referred to committee of the whole. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And that should do it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, do you have anything to report for, well, that's all you've got for unfinished business?
Yes. Or
Okay.
for new business.
New
For new
business.
business?
Did you do the?
Did you want to report out on your committee of the whole for
Next week?
next week?
Yes. I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, Committee of the Whole next week, beginning at 5:30 p.m. We'll be here in council chambers, March 5th, beginning at 5:30 p.m., council chambers. 2 items, public records training, and the second item, city clerk record keeping. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Breyer?
Yes, Finance Committee will meet next Monday, the 5th, from 4 to 5 p.m. 2 items, vouchers and the Birthday Dreams lease addendum.
Okay. Mr. Prince?
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Person?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to announce a Public Safety Committee meeting for next Monday, March 5th at 5 p.m. in the council conference room. There's 3 topics: Heart Month presentation, annual crime statistics briefing, and emerging issues in public safety.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Breyer? I mean, excuse me, Ms. Palmer?
No new business,
I did it
Mr. Mayor.
already.
They're both blonde.
Mr. Corman?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. No committee meetings to announce, but I did want to thank a number of you for the excellent council planning workshop on Friday. Mr. Zwicker, Council President Zwicker, I thought did an excellent job. You, Mr. Mayor, thank you for your role in setting that up. Jay Covington and Julia Medzigian and others. I thought it was very interesting workshop. We are going to have, it sounds like a couple of challenging years financially still in front of us, but it does look like there's light at the end of the tunnel, maybe 3 years out. I thought that was very foundational, though, the work that we did on Friday, and very well organized, so thank you all for putting that together.
Thank you, Mr. Corman. Mr. Taylor?
No meetings, Mr. Mayor, but I would like to report on a couple of events that I attended over the last week. The Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce of Seattle held an event at the Tea Palace, and the TCCS, as it's called, has been in existence for over 24 years. It works closely with other chambers, such as the Renton Chamber of Commerce, also the Bellevue Chamber of Commerce. They have direct relationships for import-export business with Taiwan. Very lively event, and as usual, Duke Tran was the best warm host. It was well attended. Several hundred people were there. The Lieutenant Governor Brad Owen was there also, among other dignitaries, and it was a fun event. Also, I had opportunity to attend a Black History Celebration program in honor of African American History Month at Joint Base Fort Lewis McChord. And it was facilitated by an organization called DC Productions and the Pacific Northwest African Initiative Project. We were there on the behalf, or there to celebrate Black history, and there had to be several hundred of our fine soldiers there. And I can tell you that they're well-fed, good-looking group of troops. I was awed by the youth and the vigor. There was a lot of enthusiasm, and I was most impressed by the process of entering onto the base. I had to park outside the visitor center, and I had to be picked up by a chaperone. And when the 2 young men came out to pick me up in their van, it had appeared as if they had read a dossier on me for the past week, because they knew everything about me, and I could imagine that has to do with the level of security they have to have there to protect our soldiers, to protect the state, the area, and it was just a very impressive event. In fact, the event was so popular that one of the officers there requested that this group that put this event on behalf of Black History Month come back again during the summer and to put on another event also. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. It's good to see that there are some organizations out there that do remember what our African American historians have made in terms of contributions throughout history, and that they are being recognized for it. That is all.
Thanks, Mr. Taylor. Okay, next is audience comment. Is there anybody who'd like to address the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
I move that the council meeting recess into executive session for approximately 30 minutes to discuss potential litigation with no official action to be taken, and that the council meeting be adjourned when the executive session is adjourned.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Prince. The council recess into executive session for about 30 minutes, and that the meeting will adjourn following the executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Sugar. Have you heard about kids getting more overweight than ever before? Well, we're trying to help with that.
My name is Sunithia Parker, and I am the health ministry lead at Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. The first program that we've changed actually is our feeding program. We have made changes such as making sure water is the primary beverage and that we always serve fruits and vegetables, and just much healthier than what we were serving previously.
You guys got rid of soda, right?
Yeah, what we serve is water, no soda here.
Any place in Seattle or any place in any city can make these changes. They can go in and say, wait a minute, let's have healthier choices for our kids.
We're working together. We're learning the importance of kind of coming together and making change in our community. You know, that's something that we can do, and it doesn't take large numbers to make things like that happen.
If this group got together to get rid of soda, I bet we could do the same thing in other places too. Cheers.
My problem was with jars, especially the peanut butter jars. I just didn't want to clean them out. Call it the ick factor. But then I discovered a couple things. One, that more than half the stuff showing up in the landfill is still recyclable. And two, spatulas. That's all the motivation I needed to clean out the peanut butter or the mayonnaise jar. I am reformed. I am a total recycler. I've conquered the ick.
I don't know how all the junk mail and paper kept ending up in the garbage. I had every intention of recycling it. I used to say it was little paper gremlins. Then I heard that more than half the stuff that ends up in the landfill is still recyclable. That's when I made the decision to put a recycling bin in the home office. So now all of my paper and junk mail gets recycled. I'm a total recycler. Happy, fulfilled, and gremlin-free.
I was always after my husband to recycle his aluminum cans. He'd do okay for a while, then I'd go to the garage and there they were again, in the garbage. Then I told him that more than half the stuff that ends up at the landfill is recyclable.
I had no idea.
So, we decided to put a recycling bin in the garage just for his can.
And now we recycle a lot more and throw away a lot less. We even downsized the garbage can.
My mom's always getting after me to eat my vegetables. Then I learned at school how food can be recycled. So I told my mom I didn't have to eat my vegetables because it's better for the environment to recycle them. She didn't buy it. She told me it's food scraps that are recyclable. All we have to do is put the scraps in with the yard waste. So it's really easy to recycle food waste and keep it out of the landfill. But I still have to eat my vegetables.
I wasn't sure what to do with our greasy pizza delivery boxes after trying to throw them in the garbage or sneak them into the recycling bin, followed by a few failed attempts at decorative art. Then Ethan heard about recycling pizza boxes in our yard waste bin. Now we're doing our part to cut down on all the stuff that goes to the landfill by adding pizza boxes to the yard waste we recycle anyway. Ethan's so smart. Takes after his mother.
There are few times in history when the saying, "we're all in this together," would be more applicable than right now.
Charles Best, he came up with a revolutionary idea during lunch in the teacher's lounge.
My colleagues and I were talking about books that we wanted our students to read, field trips we wanted to take them on, art supplies that we needed, but these ideas wouldn't go beyond the teacher's lunchroom. And then I just figured that there were people from all walks of life who wanted to help improve our public schools.
Through Donors Choose, ordinary citizens can directly fund projects initiated by enterprising public school teachers.
Teachers request dictionaries, science kits, field trips, resources that their students need to thrive. Then you can give to the project request that most inspires you with a donation of any amount. And DonorsChoose.org delivers the materials to the school.
It's such a simple, wonderful idea. It connects individual donors with individual classrooms and individual teachers and individual projects. You know exactly who you're helping and how you're helping them.
It's tough getting a dollar. I don't like to give them all away, so if I do, I like to know where it's going.
When I started teaching last year, I didn't have any books for my students.
It put the supplies in my classroom within 2 weeks.
An art class in the Bronx had no paintbrushes, and now every single student has a set.
If you took a picture from the beginning of the year and now it's like empty and full.
You as a donor can expect to get photographs of the activity taking place, student thank you notes, a teacher impact letter, illustrating, proving the impact that you've had.
The thank you cards from the children are awesome.
Because I love to give and know that I have a connection.
Get you right there.
It's a very easy way to give back to public schools.
And I think that takes the best of what the internet offers, an ability for people to self-organize around communities of shared concern.
This is exactly the kind of social innovation we should be encouraging across this country.
I love DonorsChoose.org, and it's why I'm on the board and why I'm committed to helping in any way I can.
Make sure you check it out, DonorsChoose.org.
Let's not underestimate the power each of us has to change the world for someone.
Sparky the Fire Dog here. Make sure your family has a fire escape plan and practices it twice a year. It's important to make sure that your escape plan has 2 ways out of each room in your home. Protect your family from fire. For more information, visit Sparky.org. Sparky the Fire Dog here. Make sure your family has a fire escape plan and they practice it twice a year. One important thing to practice is get low and go.
Get low and go?
If you see or smell smoke, it's important to get low and go. You guys ready to practice?
Yeah!
Let's give it a try. Smoke rises, so you want to make sure you get low under the smoke, where you'll find that the air is safer to breathe. Great job, guys! Protect your family from fire. For more information, visit Sparky.org. Sparky the Fire Dog here. Make sure your home has smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside your sleeping areas, and on every level of your home, even your basement.
And replace the batteries every year.
For games and activities, go to Sparky.org.
About 3 years ago, I was approached by the city of Renton, asked if I would be